Good morning to everybody. My name is Jesse Ozuna. I'm the Chief Administrator at Hidalgo County Precinct 4. And for a lot of you, the face for the community out here on behalf of the precinct, it's always been a pleasure to work with the folks out here. Growing up, I know a lot of families out here, and starting this process, it was kind of a weird feeling for me because I still got queasy going into the principal's office. I used to be my principal. And then he had ideas. I was like, I'm trying to do something good here, and I'm still feeling a little nauseous going into the principal's office. But it's been a pleasure. Along this journey, it's been quite an extensive one for quite a few projects we've had out here, but we definitely are proud on behalf of the county and behalf of the precinct to extend services out here to the folks that, for a long time it's been a ranching community, and, no grocery stores, no dry cleaners, no nothing, but we got fire station coming up, park coming up, and a lot more presence out here for y'all. I'd like to get started by calling up Anthony Vazquez, an 8th grader, and Nayeli Vazquez up here to do the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge. If everyone could please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one, indivisible.
Thank you, guys. If you could stay standing, I'm going to call up at this time Father Manuel Razo from St. Joseph the Worker to lead us in a moment of silence and a prayer.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. O God, with whom every good thing has its beginning, and through whom it is improved and increased, grant, we beseech you, that this work which we are beginning for the praise of your name may be happily brought to completion, through the never-failing gift of your fatherly wisdom. Through Christ our Lord. Amen.
At this time, we're going to have a couple songs from Mr. Joseph Sanchez, the band director, and the band from Brewster Elementary School, middle school. So at this time, we're going to hear, I believe, the fight song. So let's get some pride in us out here.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Jesse. We're celebrating last night's victory against LaGuardia Middle School, 18-8. And cheerleaders did an awesome job, and our football team cheerleaders. Can you imagine just a couple or several years ago, we would throw watermelon rinds over the fence because there was cattle grazing in this area. Actually, all the way over there. So several years ago, we had the middle school, and then the gymnasium, and now we have this beautiful park coming up. It is a joyous morning. Good morning to all of you. I have a couple of words to say. It is my honor and privilege to welcome all of you to today's groundbreaking ceremony, which celebrates the visible beginning of this community's park. This is a joyous occasion, especially for the leaders of this community that are inspiration and built a community of family. A much needed resource for our students and parents and community to utilize and bring joy to families. To our leaders in the county, Commissioner Palacios and his staff, to Dr. Gutierrez, Edinburg ECISD School Board, thank you for your collaboration and hard work to make this a reality for our beloved community. Thank you for sharing the vision and inspiration of the future of the great Linn-San Manuel community. Friends who are leaders of religion, education, and government, who would inspire the next generation to make their own notable contributions to as servant leaders. Thank you so much, and it's a great honor and privilege and joy to see all of you here today.
Good morning. My name is Emily Palacios. I'm a sixth grader here at Brewster School, and I'm happy to be here with you today as we break ground for our new community park. As a representative of Brewster School and the Linn-San Manuel community as a whole, I can't even tell you how excited we are that this day is finally here. This park has been a dream for this community for years now, and I'd like to thank everyone here, especially the Guerra family, the Flores family, Commissioner Palacios and his staff, and the Edinburg School District for their vision and determination to bring this park to our community. Your continued hard work and generosity has always created new opportunities for the children of the Linn-San Manuel area and the Brewsters of Brewster School. And for that, we are eternally grateful. We would also like to take the time to honor the brave men and women of our community who our park is dedicated to. Their bravery and sacrifice will never be forgotten, and their voices will live on through the cheers and laughter of the children as we enjoy this park for generations to come. On behalf of the children at Brewster School, we say thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for allowing us the time to be with you this morning. On behalf of the ECISD and the school board members that are present with us today and those that couldn't make it, also I'd like to recognize Mr. Juan Sunny Palacios and Mr. Javier Salinas and the other members of the board that have previously served that were involved in this project, such as Mr. Omar Palacios and Mr. David Torres and Mr. Martin Castillo. Were all instrumental in working on this project as a member of the board. However, I have to go back a little bit and say that shortly after I was elected in about 2007, Mr. Carlos Guerra summoned us to Brewster campus. And Mr. Guerra shared his vision of what he wanted to see and like to see for the San Manuel Linn community in this area. And Mr. Guerra, I commend you for holding on to that vision, because you shared that vision with us in working and collaborating together with the school district and the precinct. We are here today. And this facility will truly work for everyone in this area. And I cannot forget that first meeting ever, because it was really the time that I can say that I first learned about your vision, and I take that lesson with me with the board as well in terms of trying to be visionary in the future for our children. So thank you very much. I'd also like to say a special thank you to Precinct 4 and Commissioner Joseph Palacios for working with the district in so many different projects. It's not just this project alone, but in streets projects, in roads projects, in drainage projects, and in also the safety and protection of our children. And Commissioner Palacios, we thank you for that. It's not an easy task, we know, but in working together and collaborating together with the district as you have, we hope that we have made it easier for you and for our community so that they may enjoy these facilities. So thank you, sir. And on behalf of the district, the Brewster campus, Mr. CP Pena, my uncle, everybody knows, right? Very proud of my uncle CP. Has been here for many years, our students and our faculty and staff. We thank you always for being so loyal and generous to our San Manuel Linn community in this area. And anything we can do as a district, know that we're always here for you, and we will try to continue to provide as much as we can for our students as always. So we thank you all. And lastly, I also want to give, as a veteran of Hidalgo County, I want to give a special thank you to the students who will play a really neat song coming up here shortly. Caissons Go Rolling Along. It's the Army song. They call it the Army song, written by a field artillery general back in dates back almost to the Civil War era. And for children to learn this history and understand the value of this song, it's not only recognizing the music in the Army, but it's also recognizing all our veterans. And Commissioner Palacios did something really wonderful in San Carlos that he's also going to do here, which I take a personal preference to also, which is in recognizing all our veterans. And Commissioner, thank you for that also. We appreciate that. So in recognizing all our veterans in the future, I want to commit to you and to everybody here that as we move forward, and hopefully we have a beautiful ribbon cutting ceremony in the future to come, that we can have all our local and regional veterans of the Linn-San Manuel community, as well as the Hidalgo County here present with us. And we hope that they will be able to join us in thanking them as well. So again, thank you, Joseph. And to everyone, again, on behalf of the Edinburg School District and on behalf of the school board, we certainly appreciate your time in being here with us today, and always continue thinking of us as we try to strive for the best for our children. And we might not be a perfect district, but we're certainly going to improve the quality of our education for our children every day. So thank you all.
And now I have the pleasure of introducing my favorite elected official of all time, my boss, who he's probably got a bigger heart than a lot of people that I know. For doing this it's a very thankless job to do what our elected officials do, and I kind of sometimes looking at him and I'm, what are you thinking? And I think sometimes our hearts are bigger than our minds and our wallets and our visions, because I think that's what we're put here on earth to do, is to serve everybody. And he's definitely he's a man of service, and I thank him.
Thank you. I'm blessed. Thank you for your kind words, Jesse. I normally don't like the spotlight whatsoever. I think that what we do together is more important than one does. But I do want to acknowledge a few people that are here this morning, people that are near and dear to my heart. Marcos Lopez, my past chief of staff, is here. He went back out into the private world. We don't condone him. We don't disown him. But he's always here in spirit with us. But I'm real pleased that he's here. When we talk often, and when we drive around and we go from project to project, we thought, can you believe that we actually do this for a living? And who would have thought that kids like ourselves, with our, I don't want to say troubling past, but challenges that we've had in our days, that we would be in such a position. And that's why we don't take anything for granted. We're very blessed with the time that we have, and I thank God every day for that. But with Marcos comes, obviously, Jesse. He's been our liaison to the Linn-San Manuel area. He's done a phenomenal job out here. And I have various other staff here, Precinct 4 staff there out on my left that carry the same quality. It's a heart of service. I always say that that's more valuable than any paper you could ever bring me. If you're willing to serve with your heart, then you got a job here with us. And we pride ourselves on that every single day. But good morning. God has blessed us with a wonderful, wonderful day. We had a hope and a dream, and it started. It didn't start with me. As Councilmember Pena had said, there was a visionary, and it happened years ago. And I'm glad to see us here at this point. Mr. Carlos Guerra has been instrumental. He has been a pioneer for this area, along with many other community leaders that really care about their community. It's something we take pride on as elected officials in the areas we serve. He is not an elected official, but he definitely carries that heart of service for the area that he lives in, the community that he's a part of. And it's just not limited to this area. It goes all the way around, full circle. I want to thank him for his vision. I stand here humbled and honored. We come before you. What was once a thought is a reality now. We're about to turn dirt on this beautiful 10-acre park facility. As you see, we have a diagram here of what we're hoping to build. It was a vision of all community leaders and residents that carried the vision and that unyielding will for the betterment of this community. They've invested so much time, effort, resources, but most of all their hearts. And no matter what they do, it's all rooted in this. It's the same fiber. They do all that they do because it's in their heart to do for this community. I want to take a moment to honor them. First, I'd like to start with Commissioner Oscar Garza. When I first took office, he allowed me to come 6 months early. And I told him about all my pipe dreams and my hopes and everything that I wanted to accomplish and build partnerships. And I had all these ideas. And he really helped me in the years that he's had, even after I took office. He was very instrumental on pushing all my ideas from pen to paper. And I want to honor him for that. I see a friend in the audience that had not been recognized, and that wasn't by design. But I see him standing back there, Sean Snyder, our fire chief, Edinburg fire chief. One of the first daunting tasks that we had was the fire station that burned down. And very controversial, very troubling times that we had. Sean rushed to assist Mr. Guerra and the precinct and all to stick together, band together, and find some real solutions to push it forward. And obviously we see construction going on, and we haven't opened the building just yet, and we're looking forward to seeing you there. It's coming really soon. But I want to thank Sean for all that he's done, all that he's been for this community. And I thank you, Sean. I also want to recognize those that are part of the Linn-San Manuel Improvement Corporation. They too, hand in hand with Mr. Guerra and Sister Guerra, have worked diligently for this community. Mr. Johnny Kozad, Miss Alice East, Catherine McCallan, Norma Guerra, fellow Guerra, Mr. Fred Capadona, Louis Flores, Patsy De Los Santos, Justin Capadona, and of course Miss Flores is sitting right there. Also with the Brewster School Site-Based Decision-Making Committee, we wanted to make sure that we didn't build what we thought we needed. We wanted to take what Mr. Guerra and the school district had already worked on. They had a plan, and we found them. We wanted to be a partner, and we partnered with them. With that committee, who had every decision on how this park was going to set was Mr. Sheriff Eddie Guerra. He's in the back there. Brenda Vallazano, Rosa Granados, Nancy Yanes, Francis Kotzer, Rafael de Luna, Abel Salinas, Adam Cantu, Irene Davila, Kathy Garza, Laura Garcia, Dora Flores, Alisa Palacios, and Louis Flores III. I would be remiss if I didn't mention another individual that just seemed to be the cheerleader of assuring that things were moving forward, and that's Miss Laura Guerra. I never escaped her when I ran into her as, how are we doing on the park? And I really believe that she was the ambassador of the Guerra family just to make sure that she diplomatically asked that question. But I want to thank Laura for always pressing the issue and assuring that the ball kept moving forward and the dreams of her father was realized. Obviously, this land that we're going to be building this park is and once was the land of the Guerra family. They had every dream to make sure that this tract of land had something to do with the school and the kids of this community. Very proud to be working with them. I also want to take a moment, and I know I was looking around, I see where the idea of this park is to implement a wildlife, not just, it's going to be a wildlife green space for our, obviously we see turkeys all around here. And if you drive here through Saturday, any Saturday, you'll see them out there, or any given day. But we couldn't have done any of this without the partnership of the school district. And I want to thank them. This park is going to cost every bit of $1.2 million. The school district graciously has given us half of that. Urban County has given us the other, and Hidalgo County Precinct 4 is taking care of the rest. It's in the spirit of partnerships that these dreams are realized, and we couldn't have said it. We're seeing it here, and we're seeing it in the construction of our fire station, of which we've had various partners in the development of that project. This park will be developed, and it's going to carry every amenity. We're going to have baseball field, softball field, concession stand, walking trail, and most importantly, as we said, we are developing a monument for all veterans that had served. We think that that's the critical point that we want to teach our children. This park is going to be an instrument to our kids, not just for recreation, but for them to recognize the fundamentals of what we believe they need. One is obviously respect to those who have served, good team building, good sportsmanship, and just a place where they can fellowship with their families and their friends. We're pleased to start construction of this site. As we get closer, I have the pleasure of giving a task, and I want to give this task to Mr. Guerra. Since he's so famous for giving task out, I'm going to give him this task. I've looked forward for this. The monument. Since he was the inspiration for the monument, he was the person that said it must be done, it has to be done. If the park goes up, the monument has to be with it. And I want to commission him to help amongst other community leaders to come with the appropriate monument that we believe will bestow a great honor on those that have served from this area. We are going to continue to start construction. We are looking at spring of 2016, God willing sooner. But we're going to be working diligently to get this project on the ground. In closing, I want to thank God for every day that I have, for the time that He's given me, for the profound belief that's what bounds us together is more important than what pushes us apart. And it's a challenging task as an elected official when there are a lot of pundits out there that like to write what they write. There are a lot of critics out there that believe to sell something that isn't really true. But it's not going to stop us. Our heart is to serve no matter what. And I'm pleased to be amongst many leaders of our community that do the very same thing. It is a thankless job, but it's worth it. Every day we get an opportunity to leave a mark in our community. And one day we'll pass the torch forward. And I always remember the words of my father. He used to tell me every day, take your day like it's your last day and make sure that day counts. And I figure if I can do that 365 days a week, I'm certain that I'm going to be pleased with the life that I had, whether I serve in a capacity of a position or just serve generally just out there, as Mr. Gary does and as many of you all do in this community. So we share that same fiber, and I want to thank you, and it's been a pleasure working with you all. So without further ado, I think we're ready to turn dirt and get this project going. Thank you very much.